Right, welcome back. Today what we're going to be talking about is how we can use NotebookLM and Perplexity together to do some really interesting research. And I've come up with something that I found, which I'll show you in a minute. So what I like to do is for our keywords, so for example, we want to create a new notebook and then we want to discover sources for what we're looking for. So if we're working on solar panels in Watford, okay? So we submit this. This then goes and finds 10 different sources of information about solar panels in Watford. And then, there we go. So it's got a roadmap, etc., right? So what this is going to do is basically collate information in a certain way, which then makes us potentially have a topical relevance to this keywords. So this is about the UK. So what we can then do, you can generate a podcast, you can generate a mind map. This can be quite useful sometimes to kind of give you the visual representation of what's going on with these keywords, how they're interlinked, and it's looking at installation services, green energy scheme and grants, heat pumps versus solar panels, etc., right? So we've now got the benefits of solar, reduce energy bills, energy security, etc., how the solar panels work, PV cells, inverter cells, AC power, blah, 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 right? Costs and payback. So this gives us a huge amount of information about a particular topic. And if you're visual, this can be a great way of viewing it. So what we can then do is, I'm using Perplexity Pro, and I mentioned this the other day, but if you sign up with PayPal, you can get it for 12 months for free, which is incredibly valuable. Right, so conduct SEO research on the search term solar panels in Watford based upon the context provided in the existing window. So what this is doing, so the way that Perplexity works, it considers the information that's on the page. So it's taking this information we've got here, and then it basically goes and that kind of gives it a layered level of context. So rather than just being about, so what we could do, in fact, before we do that, is we'll say, let's go back to Studio, right? We want to do a briefing doc, right? And we want this open because what we want to give it is real deep contextual information, so that then Perplexity, when it's doing its research, has that information available and it gives it way more context. So that will just take a few minutes to run. Now, in the meantime, I've talked about this website that I've got called Tradesman Finance, and I was doing a bit of work with it this morning. So let me just show you what I was doing. So I'd done a search for it in Perplexity. I thought I'd done it in Google, but I did it in Perplexity by mistake because I had the browser open. So I've said, we've acquired the domain Tradesman Finance, carry out technical SEO analysis on this keyword, identify buying keywords associated with this keyword, search volumes and associated keywords such as electrician finance that we should focus the website on. We are ranking for this keyword today, right? So I typed in tradesman finance into Google and this has come up first, right? I was slightly surprised. So then I've done a search in Google, okay? So paid listings, good sign. So this means people are prepared to buy traffic. Paid listing, tradesmanfinance.co.uk, right? I'm logged in. Let's do it in an incognito window. Again, bidding, and this, we are ranking for this keyword, and it's a version of the site that I've built, right? Proper finance for proper trade. We're brokers who speak your language, right? So It's got a calculator on it. This has all been coded with AI. And because I'm going for a long tail keyword with no competition, this site's got no backlinks. It does have a couple, but they're just, crap backlinks that are auto populated. It's ranking. So I think there's a really interesting opportunity around doing really contextual sites. So going back to our Perplexity browser, building really contextually full websites with entities, keywords, semantic, triple syntax, all of that fun stuff, and then building them out. So basically that's what I'm going to do. So I've got these tabs at the top. So we've got professional services finance, we've got transport and logistics finance. I just think nobody has been focusing on those elements. So I think there's something interesting in this. I don't know exactly what. Right. So let's go back to so we've got a briefing document. So what we would do is, right. Okay, so now we've got a document that gives us the context. So now we're going to go back to our question, which was, I can't remember what the question was, but we could, for example, conduct keyword research. No, it was the buying signal, wasn't it? So you are a local SEO specialist. Conduct detailed research on buying keywords, associated keywords, search volumes, and what else do we want? Semantically relevant keywords, entities for the keyword solar panels in Watford. Incorporate the research provided. Okay, so we're then going to go and get that running. It's looking at it's looking at NotebookLM. It's reviewing different sources. So we know that buying intent keywords are these: solar panel installation, Watford solar panel installers, buy solar panels, Watford solar PV installation, right? We haven't got any search volume, so best solar panel installers in Watford, solar panel grant eligible. So when we're basically building our local sites, these are the keywords that we want to fill. So head terms average of 6 to 1,500 searches per month UK wide. Solar panels Watford ranges from 70 to 200 searches a month. So obviously what we can potentially do is, if we can rank a website first for that tells you there's a decent volume of leads which can be acquired. So what we then want to go and do is, there we go, right? So solar panels information, buy solar panels, solar panel quotes, etc., right? So we're then going to say, considering these search terms, output highly optimized content for this keyword for the homepage of our website, Watford Solar. And where this comes from, I think it was Jack in the school community was asking about the on page, and this is basically what I'm beginning to do now. Is so you're using AI with NotebookLM, then it's powered up with Perplexity at their browser. So this is all in Comet browser. So we want it to consider entities, semantic triple syntax, and finally we want and keyword density. We want content that will rank. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to press go on that. While that's running and it's thinking about it, I'm just going to take my Chrome browser, and the tool that I tend to use for this kind of stuff is called NeuronWriter. And the reason I use it is because I've got a lifetime deal on it. So I'm going to log in a separate screen and set up a search for this keyword. It's going to be basically it only gives you a certain number of searches per month. Oh, in fact, I've got St Albans solar, right? So I can then do a solar panels in Watford as my keyword. Okay, so I'm going to just pull this one over so you can see what I'm doing. So this is based on St Albans solar. I don't know why I've got a pest control thing. Anyway, let's delete that. That's not relevant. But I've got the St Albans solar website, which Albans is ranking first. I think if you go into incognito, it's second, but it is ranking. I wonder what the domain authority. We'll have a look at the domain authority of this one. So I built this with this was not. It was AI generated content, and it was built using Elementor theme. So it's got domain rating of 0, but it's still ranking, right? And this is the reality of local search. So this, I mean, it has got a couple of links to it. We have built some, but it is, yeah, it's a bit kind of, the profile of the links is not great. So we haven't done, you know, the foundational links process to this site, but, you know, the intention is that we will. Okay, so just wanted to give you that as context. We'll shut that one down. Hopefully we didn't just close, or did I just shut NeuronWriter? Anyway, right. Oh, now I'm in an incognito page. Right, let me get NeuronWriter open again. Where was it? St Albans solar. There we go. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the output. So that's completed. We're then going to take the output from Comet. Okay. Okay. Right. So we've taken the output from Comet. Oh, it's still analysing it. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the output from Comet that's been generated by Perplexity, which has obviously got the contextual relevance. So right, it's just going to take a while. So you get up against Checker Trade, Kimball Tech, Kennett's Electric, Solar Together. So, you know, these aren't specifically chiltonsolar.co.uk. They're probably the first one that is, maybe Kennett's Electric is a provider. So we're going to take this and we're going to pop that in like that. Right, solar panel. Right, so we haven't got H1. Solar panels in Watford. Right, this will obviously immediately improve things. So we make that H1. We copy this. We pop that in there. We make it auto-generate a description. Right, we save and close. Right, so we've now got something that is optimized according to NeuronWriter to the level of 63. So this is incorporating obviously the keywords that it thinks it needs to see. I mean, that is not enough content. So let's ask what happened there. So let's go back into here. That content, way too short. We probably need around 1,000 words. Research competition in terms of search volume. And then what we're going to do is this is quite interesting. So we're going to say, so the headings that our competition have who are ranking. So what we're going to copy is terms with suggested uses. So here's headings, terms with suggested usage numbers. Okay. And then what we're going to do is article and then terms. So here's keywords with suggested usage numbers. Then finally, the last one we're going to do is entities. So I'll copy all. Here's entities. Right, so this information has been gathered from NeuronWriter, where we are currently scoring 63. Please improve the score. So top 10 is 1,483 words, right? So we're not even... Okay, so what we're now giving it is further context, right? So what we should end up with is a really, really highly optimized homepage that should, in theory, give us long form content and obviously, hopefully rank. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just let that finish. What's happened? Right, it's still continuing. Right, so it's now doing the frequently asked questions. Are solar panels maintenance free? Blah, 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 right? So we've now got, look at that. So it's considered the entities. Entities covered, solar panel. Right, all of the appropriate keyword using semantic tuners, but right, that is what we want. So we're going to then copy this, and what we should end up with, it might not be perfect, but what we're getting into, in fact, we don't want to delete the header. Okay. There we go. Right, this is what I'm talking about. So with 2 minutes of work, we've turned that now into a really, really well optimized piece of content for that page. Okay, so this is what I think is really interesting. It's still a manual process, but obviously we've got the design functionality that comes from Claude Code. And I wanted to show you I don't know if this is right. So just as an example, I've got Tradesman Finance running at the moment, and like basically doing an updated version of it because I don't actually like the old design, right? So look at this. Look at this. So we've now got something that is professional. It's clean and tidy. Wow, it's even put all the images in. They're not right way around. Anyway, but there's a little bit of work. She doesn't look like a carpenter. A message from our founder, real tradesman. You know, you've got a website. If you landed on it, it looks good enough, right? And we know that we're ranking. So I think this thing, if you start incorporating, obviously this depth of content is not there for Tradesman Finance, but what we will go and do is once we've got the architecture that we're building and the website looks good, I think that looks pretty good. There was an earlier version that it did that I think was better. So let me just show you this version that it did earlier on. Not that, because that was terrible. So I have given it some SEO, but I think it was this one. So I think it's this version. Right, so enhanced. I think it was this. Yeah, look at this. So it's got visuals, it's got the things So what that one I think is missing is that kind of roundedness and the animations. So I think with a bit of work, we can get that to look like that. And then you've got a really highly optimized landing page, right? That is well optimized from an SEO perspective and looks amazing. And if you get traffic to it, which, based upon, we'll do the incognito search again, tradesman finance. Right, I haven't got any Google Analytics search console set up for this at the moment, so I don't even know what kind of traffic it's getting. By the way, the form doesn't work, right? So if you complete it, it doesn't go anywhere. But what we're building here, and it hasn't got any backlinks to it, right? It's literally just got nothing pointing to it. But you can see sub-niche, highly structured, well-optimized content. And if we do what they call topical authority, right? So we're going to write loads of supporting articles that support the main content. So from Google's perspective, we're covering off what they call the knowledge graph. So Google, to obtain what they call topical authority, what you have to do is basically cover off all aspects. So with solar panels, it would be solar panels, battery storage, what is solar PV, all of those kind of associated things. If we can do that in a really, really nicely presented way, then we are going to get traffic. And, tradesman finance, these leads are valuable, right? I've got a broker that I could partner up with, or I could potentially do this myself. With solar, I've got a strategic partnership with a solar installation company. They will pay me 20% of their profit for any leads that I generate them, right? As it stands, we've sent them one lead, right, from St Albans Solar, because, the traffic volume for that is not very high. But you can see how building these could turn into something that could be potentially incredibly valuable. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, and just look at how we can use NotebookLM in conjunction with Perplexity browser, the Comet browser, and then once we've got that information, we're not taking that as gospel. We're then using NeuronWriter to basically conduct that analysis on those individual pages, and then we're getting articles which are really, really highly optimized. So hopefully that was an enjoyable experience, and we took you through some valuable content. Visit the school community and join today if that's of value to you. But I think this is the way forwards, and this is the process that I'm going to be personally using for my content generation and websites going forwards. And what I'm finding, there's a lot of talk at the moment about using Claude Code and having issues with it. What I'm finding with Claude Code is you've got to be very granular. Do one page at a time and keep this particular style, and then do the next page. I think what people are expecting from this software is too much. We're asking it to go and do a 100-page website in one shot. That's just not realistic. So what we've got to do is be more granular in our approach with it, and get one part of it completed, then move on to the next. So hopefully that's the way that you're thinking about things as well. If this video resonates with you, please like and share. That would be most appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.